to you live from Tennessee, from the east to the west. We are talking Cowboys everything. And you just entered
the Cowboy Zone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Cowboy Zone. I'm one of your hosts, Marcus Jones, straight out of Memphis, Tennessee, the Bluff City Cowboy.
And this is Lambo out of Johnson City, Tennessee, with Cowboys, y'all. What is up, everybody? Yo, Elazar, Bobby. Everybody's joining in quickly tonight. Yeah,
I'm a little late sharing, so I'm just trying to share it to pages right now. Lambo, how's your week been?
Pretty good. Nothing new really, except for Cowboys news. That's about it. Other than that, the same old sitting in the house, waiting for the world to go back to normal stuff.
Man, I am so happy that we got Cowboys topics to talk about now. It's crazy how 3 weeks ago we were losing our minds, and now
Right.
It's like Cowboys overload. And
now,
Bobby Lane, man, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yeah, now it's starting to ramp up.
Right. We got so much stuff to cover. If not for that having an off day yesterday, I mean, it would have just been too much to go through. I mean, we got stuff going back to Monday, and I got like 15 topics. What's up, Prime 9? Oh, Nix, what's up, man? I didn't know your name on here. Yeah, Stargain in the house. Mendoza, as usual, man. Appreciate you joining us. While you guys are here, make sure that you guys share it to your personal page, share it to your favorite page. Also, check the comments. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. Lambo's is in there right now. I'm about to type mine in a second. Make sure you help us get our subscribers up. Make sure you like. Make sure you leave comments. The phone lines are down tonight, unfortunately, but they will be back up next week. So we want you guys to still hit us in these comments and let us know what you think about our Cowboys. We got two special guests coming in a minute. In about 10 minutes, we got Ballz Mahoney, SuperFan. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we got a special guest. He's a writer for online Cowboys blog, Matthew Lenix. So he's going to give us a lot of good content as well. So until that time, you got me and Lambo right now. And before we go into Cowboys practice and things like that, we want to talk about a few of the old 88s. So first of all, Mr. Drew Pearson just got accepted into being a finalist for the Hall of Fame. Long overdue. What do you think?
Very much long overdue. And Drew, man, I'm just so happy to see it happen to him because he's such a good guy. And, he had that whole live session last year when they were announcing who was going to be in the Hall of Fame and everything. He was so sure that he was going to be in there. And he was like, they wouldn't send these people out to my house to record me, catch me and my emotions, all that, if, I wouldn't get drafted. That's kind of the mindset he had. So I don't know if you've seen that last year, but I was watching it and, yeah, man, he was hurt. He was real hurt. He had to walk away from the camera and leave the room. And he was like, they ain't never going to catch me like this again. And that's why it was so refreshing to see him get the phone call and them say, hey, you're a finalist in the senior category. So, as you know, I was on Drew Pearson let me have the little spot on his show last year. So, man, great guy, wonderful guy, and definitely deserves it.
Yeah, definitely. I met him on a cruise a couple of years back, and just awesome guy. Him and his wife both. He let people wear his rings. He was doing shout-outs on social media. It was an amazing trip. Like, if you weren't a Cowboy fan, you wouldn't know that was Drew Pearson hanging with us because he was just one of the fellas.
Right.
And that's one of the things I noticed about a lot of our old Cowboy players. They are some of the nicest people in the world, and I just appreciate it. So for
like
those
a big
of you,
family, man.
Man, exactly. So for those of you who may not know who Drew Pearson is, or if you do know who Drew Pearson is and you want to take a quick trip down memory lane, we're going to post this video from a few years back at the NFL draft when he made the selection that kind of changed how the draft is being done.
And that's what I brought up when I went on the show. I brought that exact moment up to him.
Right. I mean,
Time Super Bowl champ, Dallas.
For people who aren't just crazy super fans and know he played for the Cowboys, this is what you can know about. What's up, Jeff? Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Rosie Jones, thank you for joining us as well. Make sure you guys share this.
And so you know, this is where Hail Mary originated at.
Exactly. He was on the receiving end.
There's no Hail Mary without Mr. Drew Pearson.
Right. And I was looking at just his bio. It's crazy that he's the only player from the all-decade team from the 70s to not be in the Hall of Fame.
The only one.
For 36 years, he just stood out like a sore thumb.
You know, it almost felt like it was just because it was the Cowboys. They're like, I can't be letting them take over the Hall of Fame. Starting to look biased. They got too many guys.
Right, a Cowboy and a receiver at that. So he was double biased. Yeah. All right, so we're going to show this quick video just to take you guys on a quick trip down memory lane, and then we'll come back and talk about the other 88. So stay with us and enjoy.
To announce the Dallas Cowboys selection, please welcome the University of Tulsa wide receiver Drew Pearson.
All right. How about them Cowboys? I want to thank the Eagle fans for allowing me to have a career in the NFL. Thank you. I am honored as an undrafted free agent to be selected to make the Cowboys second-round draft pick. And on behalf of the five-time world champion Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Fame owner Jerry Jones, Gene Jones and the Jones family, Coach Jason Garrett, all the Cowboy players that played before me, that played with me, and played after me, with the second pick and the 60th pick in the second round, the Dallas Cowboys select defensive back from Colorado, Chidobe Awuzie.
That is an all-time great pick announcement. I am standing and applauding. Drew Pearson soaking in the hate and spitting it back.
Man, I can watch that 1,000 times.
Let's go. What's up, Taiwan? What's up, Boogie? Just for that.
Yeah.
Just for that, I got to pull out the old East Tennessee moonshine. Take me a little sip on that one.
All right, and if Lambo can't make it to the end of the show after he takes a couple of sips, don't worry, guys. I'll still be here.
Oh, no. I'll pace.
Okay. All right.
What's up, Michael? Guys, speaking of East Tennessee.
Yeah. When he said thank you to the Eagles fans, I was done. It was like the ultimate Cowboy to throw a shot at the Eagles to start it off. Man, I love that.
Yeah, man. That was beautiful. Right there in their spot.
Right, exactly.
I mean, right there in their town.
That's just the genius of Drew Pearson. I love it.
Yeah,
I
man.
love it. All right. So I can't wait to hear his speech. Like, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but to think about that 1 minute clip, imagine him with a 20-minute speech. It's going to be epic. I can't wait.
I hear you, man.
I hope we're able to do public events again, because I'll probably go to Canton to be in the audience to hear that speech, because that'll be amazing. And you know all the 88s are going to be there just because it's Drew Pearson.
Yep.
So speaking of that, we got some more 88 news. It looks like we're going to have Dez Bryant throwing up the X back in the NFL, but it won't be for Dallas.
And it won't be with the division rivals, so I'm all game because I want to see Dez on the field bad. I love Dez.
We do play them. I think we play them week 11. So if you guys don't know, Dez Bryant got a tryout or a workout with the Baltimore Ravens. And if you guys can take a flashback a couple years ago, he actually was offered a contract by the Ravens, but he turned it down. And I believe they gave that contract to Michael Crabtree, if I'm not mistaken, the same contract. And Dez continued to sit out. He did some more visits and eventually signed with the Saints. But now he's gonna get another shot. I'm happy for him. I know we have a lot of people that love Dez and hate him. I love Dez, but I did not want to see him come to this team because he would have been miserable.
Yeah.
As the fourth receiver. And we're going to talk about practice as well, but as the fourth receiver, he wasn't going to touch the field here. I don't care how much clout his name had.
He deserves more than we'd be able to give him.
Exactly.
Honestly. I mean, it just wouldn't work, but the Ravens, I could see it working. I could see him getting on the team.
I think David Hellman made a post saying their best receiver last year had 460 receiving yards.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Dez is going to, just being him, he's going to get that 50-50 balls all day.
And are we gonna go into the whole injury yet, or are we gonna say that?
We can talk about that now. We can bring it back up later. I mean,
so yeah,
that was big news.
I mean, and what threw everybody for a loop too with Gerald McCoy. If y'all, I'm sure y'all all know who we're talking about, but what threw us for a loop is at first I was just like, dang, they cut him that quick right after he gets hurt like that. That is cold. That's messed up.
Yeah.
But then that injury clause came out, and I'm like, oh, they had something in there, so they knew he had an issue with that right quad. But he still makes out. I mean, he got $3 million to do what? That's an easy payday right there, man.
It seems like they both kind of knew what they're getting into because even McCoy is still talking like, I'll be back, and I'm still gonna talk to my fellas. So it wasn't any it didn't seem like there was any bad blood between him and the team.
Yeah, and because of that that little injury clause they put in the contract, we saved $3.25 million at least from it. That
exactly
we don't have to give him now. So let's see who steps up.
Right, and see what we save that money or use it for somebody.
Now there's a lot of talk that the person that steps up is going to be everybody wants Snacks to come in and step up.
Exactly. Hey, hold on a second. Hey, Taiwan, I know you got to go, man. We appreciate you joining us. If you can, make sure you give me some comments about the Lakers game because I want to see what happens. For sure. I see Jeff. I'm sorry, Lambo. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right, Jeffrey. They did that homework, man.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they did because that $3.25 million, it's not a lot, but it helps.
Oh, most definitely.
And then the thing about people talking about bringing Snacks on and stuff, you know, how many sacks has he got in his career, Marcus? In how many years?
I believe he has
like
11 sacks in 9 years. So he doesn't really help us.
And he's traditionally been playing one technique like most of his career, ain't he?
He's always played one technique. So, he's 340.
We're talking about losing a big time 3 technique guy. And if we bring him in, I don't think they're going to bring him in to slide him into that 3.
Yeah.
So.
And I keep hearing people say, well, you put him in on rundowns. No. There's no such thing as rundowns in the NFL. Seriously.
In these days. And
every team is 60% plus passing, even on first down. So if you have him out there with Poe or Woods or whoever, you're giving up pass rush. I'd rather have a guy who can pass rush and give us enough in run defense. And I think all of our guys that we have are good in run defense and still give us pass rush. Now, I've been throwing a name out there that I like if we decide to pick somebody up. I like Marcel Darius.
Okay.
He's played 1 tech and 3 tech as well, but over the course of his career, he has almost 40 sacks, and I believe he's an 8-year veteran. He's about 330, but he's super athletic. He got a bad rap in Jacksonville, but if you look at Jacksonville now, who's left? So was it him or was it the team? One of those guys I think we should look for, and I think he'd come pretty cheap and give us some impact.
Yeah, I agree. And thanks for the donation, Taiwan, to the Cash Apps.
Oh yeah, man, appreciate that.
Appreciate that. Shout out.
I see Mendoza starting with me early today with his comments. Who do I think is better inside, Crawford or Griffin? Lambo, I'll let you go first.
You know, I don't know, man. I'm not a big Crawford fan, but I think I like Crawford better inside at the 3 than I do when he's on the outside, honestly. So in terms of where I'd rather see Crawford at, I'd rather see him playing in that 3. But obviously, I think Griffin would get the job done better than him, regardless of if it was on the outside or sliding in like that.
Yeah. I have concerns about Crawford. For one, if we believe the reports, Crawford is in the 270s right now. And it's hard to put on weight during the NFL offseason. So he's played 3-tech before, that's true. But that was 2015 Crawford when he was 290, 295. I hope he can hold up there, but I got to see it in practice. And I don't want Griffin inside at all unless we're running just a straight NASCAR package. If we do that, I'd probably still rather see Alden Smith inside than Griffin because Griffin's just an animal when it comes to outside. Both of them are. Now, speaking of Griffin, and thanks for bringing it up, Mendoza. Lambo, have you been paying attention to the Twitter feeds and John Machota and David Hellman and Mike Fisher with all the count pictures?
I've been keeping up with most of the camp pictures, and I'm sorry if I must seem a little out. I'm trying to we're having the technical difficulty bringing Ballz Mahoney on.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to get him into this link here as we're going.
Yeah, he probably has to click enter broadcast. He's probably one step away. So one thing before he comes on, I want to bring up. It's been a lot of pictures circulating of Alden Smith and D-Law standing up. And I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now.
It makes you think, man. It makes you think. What kind of defense are we running out here?
Exactly.
Are we about to run?
Yeah, he just joined in now.
Okay.
Before he comes in, I just want to make this one last point. I don't know if you remember back in 2009 when the Giants won their first Super Bowl run and they ran their NASCAR package. And they used to have Matthias Kiwanuka and O.C. Umenyiora, Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan.
Yeah, deep D-line.
They actually used to run a 4-man front, but they would have the 2 guys on the end standing up. So when I saw those pictures circulate, it took me right back to that. And if we could do what they did, man, the sky's the limit with their front 7.
Yeah, and people sleeping on Alden Smith, man, but I'm starting to become a believer.
Oh, most definitely. And we can get into it in a minute, but let me bring in the first guest that we have for the night. So I'm sure a lot of you guys will recognize this face. He is one of our super fans.
Yeah.
What's up, man? What's up?
With the bling
Cowboys.
What's up? It's Ballz Mahoney, y'all.
Yeah, welcome, Ballz Mahoney, man. We appreciate you joining us tonight.
That's right, man. I got the $1 million ball, got the bling going.
Oh, that's nice.
Counting the days to kickoff, man.
Oh, me too, man. We're so excited. Man, that's an awesome helmet.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Huh?
Get that custom made, Mahoney.
Man, I can barely hear you guys.
Oh,
Hold on a second.
I was saying, is the helmet custom made?
Oh yeah, custom made. That's one of the things I pride myself in. All my stuff I have it custom made. You know, it helps with keeping things different. It gives the fans something to look forward to every time they meet me. I'm never gonna look the same, never. So I keep them guessing on what the outfit's gonna be for the next game, and it's a lot of fun, man, to see the reactions.
Yeah. But before we go into Cowboys news, I just got a notice coming up about one of our rivals, and I hate to hear it. It's actually really bad news. Ron Rivera just announced he has cancer.
Oh no,
The coach of the Washington football team. Now
oh, man.
we joke about the Redskins, but are they the most snake bitten team in the league right now, or what?
They do have bad luck. They've got bad luck.
Yeah, they got problems up there in Washington, man. I never wish bad on a team, but man, right now they got issues out of the field, man. That they got to address.
It's just spiraling, man. The whole controversy with the name, and then the whole controversy with what the owner and things they was doing with, women in the organization, they say, and then Darius Geis, and then now this bad news with Ron Rivera. It's sad, man. Yeah, definitely. Wow. Yeah. Prayers to him, man.
Exactly. I'm sorry to stray away from Cowboys news, y'all, but that's just a big thing, and I just want to make sure we put that out there, and we send out our condolences to Rivera and his family.
Now, to get back to some pretty cool stuff here is Ballz Mahoney. For those that don't know, he is also a Dallas police officer for I believe is 21 years or something.
Going on 23 years.
23 years, man. So that's a long time. Thank you so much for your service, man, to the community.
I appreciate it.
You had a very awesome sit down with a pretty well-known Cowboy named Dak Prescott. And
I did.
Did y'all eat dinner, or how'd that all go, man?
So it was awesome, man. It's kind of one of those things that it was, it was meant to be. I was obviously working, and Dak walked in with his people, and they were there on business to discuss what actions he wanted to take with his foundation, DK4, and how he could reach out to the community. And man, he was just an outstanding, just human. He's just awesome. He came up to me, shook my hand, and he said, "Hey, we're about to have this conversation, and I'd love for you to be at the table. Come have dinner." Grabbed a chair, and we sat down, and we had a over 1 hour of just nothing but heart to heart reality talk, and it was awesome. I was just really impressed about how it's weird when you see the player on the field, and then you see the human side,
right?
And I listened to his stories, his concerns, and all very legitimate, but at the end of the day, that's what needs to happen. You need to be able to sit down, come to the table, bring both sides, and just listen and talk. And you learn so much more by just listening than actually talking. So, like I said, I was able to learn so much from him, and he came out with things that he had no idea went on with the police departments, across the nation. And I was just really happy with the way that worked out.
That's awesome to hear. And like just hearing you talk about having him come up to you and ask if you want to join him, like I'd probably fall out on the floor if it was me. I'd be like,
exactly. At first I told him, I was like, "Hey, somebody pinched me. I think I'm dreaming here." And they all laughed, but you know what? Like I said, it's great when you can sit down and be human, and just put the. It's almost like it was almost like I put the Badgers put away, the Cowboy uniform was put away.
Yeah, and just people.
No platforms, just talk. Man to man, let's talk, and that's exactly what happened, and that's where you make the difference. That's the way you make it happen. And
I agree.
And he has some great ideas, and I'm really looking forward to seeing his plan and his ideas come to life. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, man, definitely a great guy. We're blessed to have him as a quarterback, man. And
So, Mahoney, how many
Yeah.
games do you plan on going to this year? Because I know we have restrictions.
Oh man, you had to go there, man.
This is the Cowboys zone, baby.
Man,
We gotta talk football.
so here's the deal from my understanding, the way things are gonna work out. We're gonna have about 50,000 fans. Obviously, the whole lower bowl of the stadium's gonna be closed off. There won't be any party pass sections. So basically, you're gonna have these blocks of tickets are gonna be available to the season ticket holders if you opted in to buy passes on tickets. So if all I can say is this, if you do plan as a Cowboy fan to go to a game this season, it's going to come with a hefty price tag. And I get it. I understand it. But it also saddens me because it really pushes in my opinion, the true fan base, the true fans that truly love the team. It basically makes it unaffordable for you to have hey, I'm taking my kids to see the Cowboys. I'm taking them to see Dak and Zeke. It's just not going to happen this year unless you're ready to drop vacation type of money like $2,000, which is just insane especially with today's economy, the way things are right now. It's just unaffordable for a family to go right now.
I bet.
Are you still gonna try to tailgate?
The tailgating, there won't be any tailgating at the stadium.
Oh wow.
That's definitely a no-go. Nothing at Jerry's World. Now, what's interesting is Arlington, to my knowledge, has not come out and officially said whether they're going to let the fans congregate in a tailgate, form or fashion outside of the Cowboy property. But that's going to be interesting, man. You know us fans. Once you get that your drink going, you get that music going, the masks are going to come off, and one thing leads to another, and next thing you know, it's going to be hard when you have 50,000 fans to say everyone, no one's positive here. So I won't be surprised if the city of Arlington comes out and says they won't allow any type of tailgating in the city.
Yeah.
Won't surprise me at all.
We're gonna definitely talk some football with Ballz Mahoney as well. But if anyone in the who's watching has any questions for him, be sure to put them in the comments and we'll put those up.
Oh man, I couldn't hear that last part. What was that again?
I was talking to the people watching. If they have any questions for you, I asked them to put them in the comments.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if they have any questions, absolutely, throw them my way. So one of the things that I always get asked, and I'll start this off. They always ask me, "Hey, where'd you get the name Ballz Mahoney? Where did that come from?" Where does that come from? So I collect the wrecking balls. So I took the last part of it, the balls, from the wrecking balls, and Mahoney is the lead character in the Police Academy movies. And so I put them both together, and that's where I came up with the Ballz Mahoney.
I like it.
So you collect actual wrecking balls?
Yeah, that's the name of these helmets. They're called wrecking balls.
Gotcha.
He's got a bunch of them.
Yeah, I got about 20 of them.
Okay.
You got one with a little police siren on the top, all kinds of cool.
Yeah, I got one that has and every game I use a different outfit. You're never gonna see me wear the same thing the whole season. I got a specific helmet for each week, and I change the jerseys up. I have custom things done to the jerseys, to my pants, to my boots, the belt, and like I said, it just keeps the fans wondering, like, man, what's he going to come up with this week? And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to see the reactions.
Rosie actually just beat me to my next question. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from Rosie Jones. She asked, how long have you been a super fan?
So I pride myself. Yeah, I pride myself in saying since the day I was born. I have a picture of me wrapped in a cowboy blanket, and my picture. You know, you take the group picture when you're in kinder with all the kids in the class back in the 70s, and there I am with my cowboy T-shirt. So I've been a diehard fan my whole life. I went through that brutal early 80s where we won one game and I was made fun of, but once we started winning those Super Bowls, I had my little book of like, hey, I know who the fans are and who picked on me, and and I called them out. I was like, hey, wait a minute, you told me that you hated the Cowboys and made fun of me. But yeah, I've been a fan my whole life now. As far as dressing up, it's been about 13 years that I've been doing it, and little by little, I've been adding to my outfit because it's pricey, man. It's pricey, believe it or not. Oh yeah, it costs money. So it's like, okay, this is so much what I'm investing to tickets and what I'm investing into my outfits, and little by little.
Yeah, dedication, man. I love it. And this isn't necessarily football related, but I did think it was super special. If you don't mind me bringing it up, brother. I seen your awesome story about how Ezra's story landed with NASA, and how they got your family's names inscribed on the chip. They'll control the Mars rover.
Right.
I was wondering if you wanted to speak about that, because that was super cool, like for NASA to do something like that for you guys.
Yeah. So let me tell you how that came about. So I'm in the Sports Fan Hall of Fame with as a super fan. There's super fans up there in Canton, Ohio. We go every year to the celebrations up in Canton, Ohio, and you get all the super fans from across the nation that go. And through that, we met this one super fan. Her name was Sharina. She's from Bolt Pride. She's a big San Diego Charger fan. Awesome person. And she was going through chemo treatment in California. Well, during her chemo treatment, she sat next to a guy, because you're all kind of like on the same plan. So you get to know everybody that's going through the same plan, same routine. And he was going through chemo treatment. And, once they got to know each other, she found out he worked for NASA. Well, once Ezra's story came about, he's Pancho Villa, huge name, huge fan. His story went national. Like I said, my brother's story just, we were blessed that it got a lot of national attention. So when my brother passed away, she told Jerry, his name's Jerry Stusas, told him about it. It's like, hey, one of my friends lost his battle, and here's his story. He happened to be working on the Mars rover. So she told him, hey, put me in contact with his family. I want to talk to him. And obviously I was the one person that she knew, and he got a hold of me. And it's crazy, because when you get a call from NASA, the first thing I did is like, what the heck did my nephew log into? I was like, what? NASA? What the heck did we get into it? And
Space Force is coming.
Exactly. I'm waiting for Secret Service to kick my door in, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? But he explained who he was and explained how he was working on the rover, and he had read my brother's story and was really touched by it, and he wanted to do something special for him. And he said, hey, how does it sound if I inscribe his name on the control chip and put his name on Mars? And dude, I just about fell out, man. Broke down in tears, started crying, and I was like, man, we would be beyond honored, to do that. And he came through. He said, hey, let me have all your family's names. And I was, it's NASA asking, so you don't even question it. So I was like, yeah, this is his mom's name, dad's name, brothers, his kids, his wife, and turned in the names. And I'm thinking it was like for some kind of background check of some kind. Make a long story short, he says, I'll call you back in a week and let you know if this has been approved. He called me back. I didn't think I would hear from him. He called me back and he said, hey, it's been approved. And I got a surprise for you. And I was like, well, what more can you do, man? And this is like just an honor. Just you've already, what you've done. And he said, it's a 13 million mile journey.
Wow.
To Mars. And I don't want your brother to go over there by himself. So I got permission to put all your family's names on the chip. So you guys go up there as a family together and make this journey together. And there I go again, man, break down in tears, and the rest is history, man. Unfortunately with COVID, we were supposed to be up there. We already had the flights, reservations, and with COVID, they closed Cape Canaveral down to the public.
Yeah.
But the important thing is that we were able to watch it as a family. We were there together, and we're making that journey together, and it means the world to us. It was not even this is the kind of stuff you see in movies, and this is the important message. I tell everybody, that sports unites. It really unites. This is the one place where doesn't matter what religion, political affiliations, backgrounds. This is where we all can find a common ground, our love for the Dallas Cowboys, our love for our team, and build on that, and take care of each other, and truly say like, hey man, that's my brother. And we can put all the problems that our nation is facing aside and just say, hey man, we have something in common. Let's build on this. And that's what I love most about sports. It's what I love most about going to the games. It's just meeting the people, because there's a lot of good people out there that I've met through sports, and I'm grateful for each and every one of them.
Hey man, well,
Awesome story.
like beautiful story, man. Definitely something you'll cherish for the rest of your life, and I love to hear stuff like that, man. And I agree completely. Sports is one thing that really unites us, man. And I love it, man. Such great people, especially the Cowboys community.
Exactly. And like I said, man, it's the one place where you can have, the differences in the world. But hey, man, your team's playing that Sunday and we're playing our rival, and we can put our differences aside and show up on Sunday, have some fajitas together at the tailgate and be like, hey, we're on the same page today. and walk in there saying, hell yeah, let's get this done, and get loud and proud.
All right, Ballz Mahoney, before we let you go, we got to talk some Cowboys training camp with you and the fans. So I know you had a chance to meet Dak. Did you ask him how many yards he's going to throw for us this year?
I did.
Oh,
I said, hey,
wow. What did he say?
I told him, I said, hey, Dak, I'm talking a lot of trash on Facebook. I'm saying we're bowl bound. This is our year. So are you going to come through for me? And I've been saying it for a long time. And you know what? He had some really positive things. He was excited. He was really excited about the team. Obviously we, at that time we couldn't discuss contract. Right. He was in the contract, and that saddens me, man. It really does. I feel for Dak. I think Dak's done his part to show he's a team leader. His records, his resume speaks for itself. I mean, what more can the guy do? Yeah. So but he was excited. He says, man, that I got the weapons I need, and I'm expecting good things. I'm expecting really good things. I'm expecting a good camp, and I'm looking forward to the season.
So before I start just talking training camp in general, did that give you any nuggets about the team or any player he likes or anything about the offense that we can look for? Did you give you anything like that?
No, man, he didn't, and I tried picking stuff out of him. I was like, hey, who's your go-to guy, man? Who's your guy? And I was thinking that he was gonna like right away throw Zeke or throw the names out, but I was like, maybe he'll throw somebody that we're not expecting. But he remained the solid leader that he is. He says, hey, man, all I can say is that I got the team that I need. I got the team that I need to go far and make things happen. And he said it with confidence. Good. And it gave me the confidence. I was like, man, this has got to be our year. Has got to be our year.
Well, we appreciate you trying to get information from him.
Oh yeah, I tried. Trust me. I tried. I was like, come on, Dad. Give me something to talk about.
Yeah. So speaking of his weapons, there's one weapon that everybody's kind of been talking about, and that's CeeDee Lamb. Apparently, he's having a really good training camp, and he looks like a seasoned vet. What do you think about Lamb in this offense?
Oh man, he's huge. I have huge hopes. I mean, high hopes for him. I think he's going to be. I think what he's really going to be able to do is open that field up. Mm-hmm. He's really going to open that field up for us, and he's a legitimate threat. And he's a guy that you got to put a man on him. You got to put somebody on him, or he's going to burn you. He's going to burn you, and that's all we needed. I think that was all we needed, was just somebody else who could say like, hey, you can't leave him by himself, because if you do, he's going to catch you slipping. So I think we got everything covered as far as the offense goes. I really think that we're solid there. McCoy, I'll bring that up. Oh man. Man. That hurts, man, because that's another guy that I was really looking forward to see. I thought he was just gonna change the whole defense, and man, it's so unfortunate, man. So unfortunate. But we still got weapons, and my hope is that we stay healthy through the rest of the camp and can go into the season with no more injuries. And I think we're going to be a lot better than we were last year.
All right. Before we move on, let me throw this question to you guys, because I was talking about this with a couple of other bloggers, and we all had a different answer, which was surprising. This is for you as well as for everyone in the comments. Which wide receiver do you think will have the most receiving yards this year? Ballz Mahoney,
I'm gonna go out and say it's going to the rookie.
Oh,
I think it's gonna go to him. I don't think Amari's looking to be the team leader as far as like, hey, I'm the go-to guy. I think that Amari's gonna take the role of, I'm gonna be the distraction. And he's gonna take up, that secondary and draw even some double coverage on that and open. They're gonna make the rookie beat him.
All right,
I'm gonna go with Lamb.
All right, Lambo, who do you think?
A lot of people are gonna say Cooper, and I'm gonna say Gallup. I'm gonna say I believe Cooper and Gallup both had 1,100 and something yards roughly last year, and now you're adding Lamb to the mix for more attention. And I feel like Cooper's going to continue to see a guy over top here and there. Lamb's going to bring a ton of attention, I think, as well in the slot. And I think Gallup's going to continue to get a ton of one-on-one matchups on the outside and just kind of be, a guy that makes some big plays downfield. So I'll say Gallup, but the crazy thing is I mean, it's hard to say because that's how good all three of these wide receivers are. So this is a great problem to have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if it's not Lamb, it's going to be Gallup. I really don't think it's going to be Amari. I really don't think it's going to be Amari.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think he knows that his role's going to be different. And I think that's what he needed. He was like, hey, I just can't be the center of attention. But with Gallup there and Lamb, I think the teams are gonna roll the dice and say, hey, we're gonna make the rookie beat us.
Right. Jeff says Gallup as well, and I also say Gallup. And for me, I expect them all to have about 60 to 70 catches, but I think because Lamb and Cooper are both going to be rotating in the slot, Gallup's going to be a straight deep threat. So if they all get 60 catches and Gallup averages 17 yards a catch and they both average 12, just for that reason, he's going to be the guy to have the most yardage.
Unless we see the Mr. Yak King, the yards after catch king and Lamb, and he does what he did in college, and he takes that 5-yard pass and takes it to the house.
Takes it to the house, exactly.
You got 3-4 guys
That's
there.
That's what I'm hoping, man. That's what I'm hoping.
I do too. I almost wore his jersey today, but instead I put my LVE shirt on because it's kind of hot in here.
Yeah.
But
all right, we got another question. Chris Hazelback has been patient with us, and thank you for being patient. He asked the question, how is Donovan Wilson doing in camp?
He got a pick 6, didn't he?
He did get a pick 6 on, I think it was the first day. He's looked well in coverage from what I've seen following John Machota and David Hellman. I think he's going to make them kind of question keeping him on the bench. He's a playmaker. I'm interested to see more of him in about a week once everybody's kind of learned the system. And the first couple of days, it was really just go through the motions.
Yeah.
Right.
But once guys really learn the system and it's more free flowing and it's more full speed, we'll really see like who's the guy and who's not.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think this first week was, most of the guys are playing with a lot of emotion. They're glad to just be back on the field. Exactly. They're glad to just see that the season's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think that we got to give them about another week at least and see once the teams really start to settle, the team settles, how he starts reading that offense. But that's another guy, we got to keep our eye on.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Chris, I see you have another question, and I'll save that. We have Matthew Lenix, Cowboys Inside the Star writer, coming in about 10 minutes, and we'll talk more about that question with him. So stay with us and keep giving us those great questions.
And Ballz Mahoney, I had a question for you real quick too. A lot of people don't realize super fans have that Hall of Fame in Canton. How did you get notified about that? About becoming a super fan in the Hall of Fame?
So let me tell you how that works out. Hold on a second. Let me just plug my phone for a sec.
Okay.
So basically the way that worked out is in order to even get in, somebody who's already in needs to know about you, and they need to sponsor you. Once you get sponsored by somebody who's already in, they're basically like hey, I'm the guy that's gonna vouch for you, and you have to go through a background check. This is what's funny. So it's a tedious process. It takes about 3 to 4 years.
Oh wow!
Wow.
To get in, it's a long process because they first gotta see you, notice, hey, how does he interact with fans? How do you treat opposing team fans? How you act with the public. Once they see that takes about a season or two. Then they give you the card so that they can vouch for you, and that takes another year. So all in all, it's about a 4-year process. But but once it's all done, it's a long interview with people, with other super fans from across the nation. It's about a 2-hour interview. It was a longer interview than it took for my job with the police department.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, man, this is crazy.
They really making sure they get the dedicated
background
ones.
checks. So it's legit. It's legit.
Now
And it's legit. And sorry, my cat just bumped my stand. But once it's all done, said and done, you know, it's awesome to meet people from, like I said, across the nation and just great people.
So when you get inducted, what do they give you? Like, do you get a bust, or is it like a nice frame, like a gallery? What do they give you for being in the Hall of Fame?
So you get a coin, and this coin, you know, has the Canton Hall of Fame on it, and the other one says, you know, Pro Football's Ultimate Fan Association, and that was like the thing that they want to do. You can also get a ring, you know, if you choose to get a ring, but it's awesome. It's awesome, and you're forever in the records, and you participate in the Hall of Fame parade with the players that are getting inducted that year. Okay. So for next year, I'm really looking forward to it, because hopefully we have Drew that'll be going in, and man, he's just so overdue, man. I feel for him, but you know, hopefully all goes as planned, and Drew gets in, and I'll be walking next to Drew.
We talked about that before you came on. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully, like I said, you know, then except how we treat Bengals. Hey, we love all fans, man. Everybody's. So get this: the only stadium I have left to visit is Baltimore. Hopefully, I can make Baltimore this season.
You'll get to see Dez play.
I've been to every stadium in the nation. The old, you know, not the new, obviously not the Raiders or the Rams, but all the current stadiums. I've been there, and the one fan base, and I'm sure you can guess who was. I was like, man, I'm putting them off. I
can imagine.
Was the Eagles.
The Eagles, of course.
Horrible.
Yeah, and I was like, man, they're just not gonna be accepting of my outfit. They're gonna throw stuff. They're gonna just go off on me. But man, and this is why I say sports unites, man.
I seen the video with you and Philly. What's his name? Philly, the Mohawk, gray face, and the stripe.
Yeah. The Philly sports guy.
Philly sports guy.
Yeah, and you know, hung out with him. And man, I'll tell you what. Yeah, of course, there was their trash talking, which I expected, but it was all within fun. You had your couple of people that were drunk, of course, that were like, hey, you know, F you, Cowboy fan, and blah blah blah. But what's funny was the women that were doing that. It was the women. I was like, man, these women are crazy.
Did you go to the game?
Everybody was super cool. You know, everybody was cool. There was some trash talking, but nobody went overboard. Nobody, you know, there was no fighting, no cussing out, nothing like that. And it was a really good experience. And I won't mind going back.
Did you go to a game that we won?
Nope.
That's
that
why
probably helped.
Yeah.
That probably helped a lot.
Well, all right, Ballz Mahoney, we have our next guest coming up. So before we let you go, let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Man, you can find me at Ballz.Mahoney on Instagram, Ballz Mahoney on Facebook. Hit me up, add me. It's a public page. You can follow me there. Every game day I post where I'm going to be at. Every game I take special surprises for the fans. So if the first fans that come find me, I do commemorative buttons for that game. So every game there's a commemorative Ballz Mahoney button. So come find me. I'm at every game. I haven't missed a home game in almost 23 years.
Wow.
So
That's
most
awesome, bro.
definitely, I will be there. Come find me. Let's take a picture and let's get loud and proud, man. Go Cowboys, baby.
Go Cowboys, man. And thanks again for your service, brother. And it's been a pleasure to have you on, man.
Man, thank you both so much. You guys are awesome, and I'm looking forward to this season with you guys, man.
Thanks,
All
man.
right, we'll be checking back in with you, Ballz Mahoney. Thank you for joining us.
All right, man. You guys take care.
You too, brother.
Yeah, that was a good interview. I'm glad we were able to get him on.
Yeah, man, he's a super cool dude. And man, this NASA putting your family's name up in space like that's awesome. It's crazy. Hey, what's up, Colonel Bill? Colonel Bill knows all about Ballz Mahoney too.
JT Petraeus Jr., thank you for joining us as well.
Shout out JC, my True Blue Crew brothers. True Brew Clue.
All right, guys. So now we're about to dive deep into this Cowboys training camp talk. Thank you for everybody who stayed with us. We appreciate you rocking with us. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channels. Also, share this. Share it to your personal page. Share it to your favorite page. We're about to get into it with one of the Cowboys insider writers. And I believe he's ready right now. So let's go ahead and bring him in. So joining us right now is a staff writer for Inside the Star. He's a writer for NGSC Sports, and he's a contributor for Cowboys Wire, as well as one of the hard hitters. Thank you for joining us, Matthew Lenix.
How you doing, fellas?
What's
Good
up,
to
man?
be here.
Man, thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Glad to have you on.
Absolutely, man. I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah. I know you had a lot going on. You always have something going on. I follow you on Instagram and Twitter quite a bit.
Right.
So we appreciate you taking the time to just come and talk some Cowboys with us.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
man, anytime I can talk Cowboys, I'm always down to do that. You already know.
Most definitely. All right. So we're gonna go through a couple of questions from the viewers, and we have a couple of topics to hit ourselves. Chris Heselback has been very patient with us with our first question, and he wants to know, what are our thoughts about Tank and Griffin standing up in a hybrid 3-4? Now, Matt, before you go, right before you came on, we were talking about all of the videos that we see show Alden Smith and D-Law standing up. So we're trying to figure out how much of a 3-4 transition do you think we're going to go into?
Well, the new defensive coordinator, Mike Nolan, has made it clear that he's running a hybrid scheme that's going to have multiple fronts with 3 and 4 man fronts.
Right.
So the base defense is still going to be the 4-3, but you will see some variations of the 3-4, like situationally.
Yeah.
We have so many pieces now that can run a 3-4 and a 4-3. I mean, so Mike Nolan is really looking to make turnovers. He's looking to, confuse the offense, not to look so predictable. So yeah, you're going to see a lot. You're going to see a lot of 3-4 situationally. The base is the 4-3, but you're going to see some 3-4 too. It's going to be a hybrid scheme.
Okay. There's been a lot of talk about how good Alden Smith has looked in practice. Like,
right.
It sounds like he's exceeding everybody's expectations already.
Yeah.
I had a question I asked on social media, and I'm gonna throw it out to you guys. I think Everson Griffin touches the field tomorrow. How long does Alden Smith stay with the ones before Griffin hops in? Do you think they just go ahead and throw Griffin in, or you think Alden has showed enough that he should still kind of stay there a little bit?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll let both of them get a chance with the ones.
Right.
I mean,
for sure.
With Griffin's coming off a Pro Bowl year, and Alden's already making noise as soon as he got on the field. He's already disrupting. He's already looking like he hasn't missed a step, and he hasn't been on the field in almost 5 years. Yeah. So when you got two guys of that caliber, like you're gonna mix them both. They'll both be running with the ones.
Right.
And Everson Griffin's going to be wearing his 97 too, by the way, that he yanked from Tristan Hill. Give me that.
Got that real quick.
But guys take a lot of pride in when we start practice off on the first one on the field. That's a big deal to a lot of guys. I'm just wondering, how long does Alden get that privilege before we can let Griffin get that first shot?
Well, I mean, it's training camp, so you got to earn it.
Right. Yeah.
It's not about giving anybody anything. Not Alden, not Griffin. You got to go out there and earn it. That's what training camp's for. So,
exactly.
They'll both get their shot, but hey, it's best man win. This is crunch time. This is when the best of the best show why they have the big contracts, why they have their spots locked in, why they're not worried about losing their spot. This is when those guys prove that, because they're going to be on the field on Sunday. So it's not about anybody being privileged. You got to earn it in football.
Right.
It's a man's game.
And I feel like with this coaching staff too, I think there's going to be a lot more of that than there was when Garrett was here. It was like you almost knew who was going to be lined up where before camp even started. When it was Garrett, I feel like with the staff we have right now, it's all up in the air. They're going to let everybody battle it out, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know we're going to run some hybrid defenses. How much 3-4 do you think we're going to run? You think it's going to be close to 50-50 or a little bit less than that in terms of 3-4?
I would say probably more 70-30.
You think it's going to be that much 3-4 over 4-3?
Yeah, like probably about 70% 4-3, throwing about 30% 3-4. Just kind of keep them all balanced a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then it might be a situation where the 3-4 is just working.
Yeah,
depending on what depending on what that particular team runs offensively, the 3-4 might be more effective. So you might see more of it situationally, but yeah, I would say about 70-30 if I was to guess.
You'll drink to that, huh, Alba?
Hey, Matt probably don't know. I live in East Tennessee, so it's Moonshine, Appalachia area.
I see you. Okay. You was really ready. You was really ready for this podcast. Huh? Yeah.
Hey, I knew we had a hard hitter coming on. I was like, I got to prepare for this. I'm scared.
Okay, well, since you're doing like that, I'm gonna have to take me a little slide off and grab something that I'm known for drinking. So.
Got you.
And look, I had some fun. My last year I went to the season home opener, and I was at the hard hitter tailgate. I was out there. I was probably bumping shoulders actually right by you, man. I was out there, associating with guys, my dude Starboy, and
that's my guy.
I was out there with Stash, and
that's my guy.
Some other people. And hold on? Let me ask you this: you might realize who I am when I bring this up. I won't go into detail. I know we kind of keep some of this under the wraps, but do you remember Stash Man driving by and something a bottle or something had struck the vehicle, and that was me. I was one of the guys that got out. I got out.
Yeah.
I was
right there at the corner.
Yeah, it was me.
Right there at the corner. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man, that was wild.
I remember that.
I'll tell you what, man, you guys are awesome, man. Everybody stood up, made sure we was all good.
Yeah, of course.
So much respect.
Hard hitters are our family, man. I love watching you guys do.
Hey, man, like whenever anybody comes to our tailgates, man, like our thing is, we want to make you feel like family.
Yeah.
Because the Cowboy thing is a given. You know what I'm saying? We know we got the Cowboys in common, but we want you to feel like you're welcome, you're safe, you're not in danger. You got good people around you. Like if something goes down, like you got people that'll protect you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we just try to make people feel, safe and loved, and you know what I'm saying, and cared for. And then you get to enjoy some Cowboys football. You get to drink, you get to eat. The police are not tripping out there. Anybody that's afraid of tailgating, think you can't do what you want to do. When you come to the Cowboys, when you come to the stadium and tailgate, you can do whatever you want to do. Just be smart about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's, we're a family organization. Yes, we represent the Cowboys. We do things in the community and stuff like that, but we also make people feel welcome, man. So anybody want to come, like check out the hard hitters, just, come to the a quarter of Randall Mill and Collins. You know what I'm saying? Right there in Lot 10, right there on the corner. You know where it is, right there by the gas station. Right there where CC's Pizza and all that is. Yeah, that's right there.
That's exactly what I have
there on the corner.
I have for breakfast some donuts and a Miller Lite. And I walk right across the street to the tailgate. Yeah,
we're right there in the corner. And then when you pass by, you got Raising Cane's, you got, everything down there. Boomer Jacks, Hooters, like it's just a nice little strip. Collins.
Definitely hit
Collins
up.
is nice.
Definitely hit it up, y'all. Hard hitters for real. Like you said, I'm not a hard hitter. I back in the rest in peace, Chief. He asked me a few times if I was interested in stuff.
Seven forever.
That was the first person I actually talked to with the hard hitters, I believe, or first or second. And we had conversations about it a few times. But even though I told him I really can't join right now, I wouldn't be able to make the dedication that I would need to make because I understand, But man,
and we
got out there. He was messaging me, "Come on out here,
yeah.
come on out here. I want to meet you, brother." Yeah. I came out there.
I mean, like if you can't make the commitment at the moment, we understand that. We're grown, we're adults. Sometimes you got to take care of your personal life first, and then when you get free, you can do other things. So we don't trip on stuff like that.
So back to on the field, we got a couple of questions about the secondary, and Chris and Elazar. Before we move there, I got one more 3-4 question.
Mm-hmm.
D-Law hasn't played the 3-4 before, so he's kind of new to standing up. And Coach Nolan McCarthy brought up Julius Peppers when he was with Green Bay and he made that transition. Mm-hmm. How do you think D-Law's transition is going to be standing up for the first time?
Let me tell you something, man. A lot of people think that D-Law fell off a cliff because he only had 5 sacks last year. Yeah. And I'll even admit there was a time when I was kind of thinking that for a second. Then I really watched the film and watched the plays that he was making, how he was, how he was, forcing the run back inside for guys like Malik Collins and making plays and for like Robert Quinn, the chase down plays. Like he was really effective against the run. Like he was one of the best run defensive ends in the whole league last year. Like he's the reason why Robert Quinn had 11.5 sacks. All those double teams freed him up. So there's a whole lot more that goes into a defensive end than just sacks.
For sure.
So just to get back to what you're saying, like DeMarcus Lawrence, like he's a technician with his hands. He's quick. He's powerful. Like DeMarcus Ware can play anywhere. Like he's a total package. He's not gonna have no problem standing up.
For sure. Now I know Coach McCarthy brought up Peppers. When I think about D-Law, I think about going back to Greg Ellis. He was a guy. He wasn't a big sack guy. He had a couple good years here and there. He was known for his run defense.
Right.
His first year in the 3-4, he had 11.5 sacks. And then he turned right back around with a 9 sack. So I'm expecting D-Law to be similar to that, where he gets to use the strength more. So I'm excited.
And you're talking about a guy that had 25 sacks over 2 years.
Exactly.
More than Khalil Mack, more than Von Miller. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like I really think he's going to get back to that double-digit sack total this year when you got Griffin and Alden Smith and hopefully Randy Gregory too coming off that right side. I mean that's just going to free D-Law up. I see him around 10 to 12 this year.
Okay, most definitely.
Yeah. I think he gets back in that double-digit too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, we got a couple safety questions from the crowd, and we appreciate you guys joining us. Let's keep filling the comments up. We appreciate you guys' input. Chris Hesselback's been pretty active tonight, talking about the safeties. He wants to know, does he think that we have an odd man out? Right now, we have six safeties, with the 2 starters, Ha and Woods. Mm-hmm. Then you got Thompson and Wilson. Mm-hmm. And then you got
Kirk,
the undrafted rookie Kirk. Do you think we keep 5 safeties, or do you think we go with 4 like we normally do?
I'm thinking we're going to go 4.
Okay, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, because with the 4 you have, I mean, if you got Woods and Clinton Nick starting, and then you got a guy like Wilson behind them, and then Thompson, like that's a good 4. Like that's a good solid 4. I mean, I don't really see why they would change and go to 5. I'm probably with y'all on that. They'll stick with 4.
I would still like to see an upgrade to Thompson if we could, but if those are the 4, I'm still pretty good with it.
Yes.
Especially the way Wilson's been showing us something in practice. Now, speaking of that, we got
that's
another
my guy right there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I was about to say Wilson.
That's my guy right there.
We had
the first piece I ever did on Inside the Star was about Wilson. My first ever piece.
All he does is make plays, man. Like get him on the field.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Now, speaking of Wilson, we got a question from Mendoza, and he asked, "Do you think Wilson can get one of those 2 starting spots because of what he's shown in practice so far?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's survival of the fittest right now. I mean, you know, this is a guy that last year led the entire preseason with 3 interceptions last year.
Exactly.
You know, he was on his way to, you know, possibly challenging last year, but, you know, then he hurt his ankle and then that kind of derailed the season. So, I mean, Wilson, not only can he play safety, remember, he played some nickel corner in college at Texas A&M too.
Right.
I'm saying, so he's very versatile, you know, just like Reggie Robinson, the 4th round pick. You know, he plays safety in a corner. So yes, right. Cedric Wilson is a jack of all trades. I mean, to me, he is more than capable of getting one of those spots.
Now, when we look at practice, so far Wilson and Woods are the only safeties that have INTs. So, do you think which safety do you think he would probably be the one to replace? I know people look at practice INTs, but I don't really look at that. Do you think it's Woods or HaHa?
I mean, I would, if I had to say the one out of those 2 he would replace would be HaHa.
Oh wow!
I mean, okay. Yeah, I would. I mean, to me, I think Woods is kind of locked into that free safety spot. So, and to me, Wilson is more of a strong safety to me.
Oh,
so
I agree.
Yeah, so you know, I mean, but you know, HaHa can play both. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's got experience of both. So I mean, it's a great competition, man. Like I'm loving that we have competition at safety.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't really had that in a long time. You know, that's been one of the real weak spots of this defense for a long time. We haven't had, you know, that Darren Woodson, that Roy Williams in a long time.
Yeah, and I don't know which one it's going to be, but I feel like one of them 3 that we just mentioned is going to have a great season. Like,
yeah, you know, Wilson is my guy, and he's the guy I'm really rooting for. I just think he's a playmaker. Like he's the kind of guy that Mike Nolan wants, a guy that creates turnovers.
Yeah, for sure.
And we need that a lot on our defense. We haven't done a good job of getting turnovers.
Yeah. Terrence Shorts, thank you for joining us. I don't recognize the name, so I appreciate you rocking with us. He says he wish we would add a true strong safety like a Tony Jefferson would be a good addition. To me, I like what we have now. I like versatile safeties. I think the traditional strong safety is kind of the way of the past, where you want a guy that's a headhunter. The NFL rules don't allow that right now.
Right.
I'd rather have a guy who can come down and cover a tight end, cover deep,
and
also be able to hit. But hitting is not the number one thing I need.
I kind of lost y'all here. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, you good. All right, so while Matthew gets his stuff taken together, I'm sure he'll come back in a minute. Lambo, what do you think about the safety position? Like, do you agree with him, with Lenix, about Wilson taking HaHa's spot?
Like I was kind of leaning towards Woods. I was kind of leaning towards HaHa staying in strong, and if Wilson, you know, does good enough, taking Woods, but Woods is pretty established. Like, I mean, he's been there a hot minute.
Yeah.
So I mean that makes sense. You know, he's just like.
Sorry about that, fellas.
It happens. Trust me, it happens to us more times than we wish. All right, so while we talking secondary, let's move to the cornerback position. Now, before we talk about, I guess, the bad or the negative, we'll talk about the good. And the good is apparently Anthony Brown's been showing up in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
becoming one of those guys that's trying to earn that money they paid him.
Right.
What do you think about our corners as a whole, or specifically just Anthony Brown is stepping up?
Well, I'm not surprised that they re-signed Anthony. I mean, because he's actually a lot better than people think. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's averaging about around 50 tackles or so. You know what I'm saying? He gets you around, probably 7 to 8 pass, the deflections. He's not a Pro Bowl or all pro, but he's a solid NFL corner. He's great for depth. And him and Jordan Lewis are going to have a real nice battle for that slot corner spot.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the battles that I'm really looking at, because I like, Anthony Brown, but I am a Jordan Lewis fan, Hive all day. I love Jordan Lewis because he's another guy, just like Wilson. He makes plays. When he got his opportunity last year, he did nothing but make plays. He had 4 sacks. You know what I'm saying? He was tied for, I think, the team lead in interceptions. He ran a fumble back for a touchdown. Like, he just makes plays, just like Wilson.
Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of him, did he walk away today or yesterday with a little minor injury, Lewis?
He did have an injury.
Yeah.
I think it was minor. Ankle. Yeah, it was minor. You know, to his ankle.
That's how hard
it was minor.
Yeah. Rest up. I hope he good.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're
working out the kinks right now. You know.
Hello, Sylvia.
Exactly. I'd rather have him stepping out the field early than late. Like I don't want nobody hurt 3 days before game 1.
Exactly.
So let's get it out the way now. Get those bumps.
Work those kinks out now.
Exactly. Now speaking of corner, I guess we'll go to the not so good, but it's not negative. It's early in practice. It seems like Diggs was the punching bag a little bit today from the reports. He was getting picked on a little bit, and the coach had to come over there and kind of coach him up and lift the spirits.
Right.
Now, for me personally, I said I think Diggs could start off the season as the day 1 starter.
Right.
What do you think? What do you think? Okay, you agree. So, what do you think about Diggs as a player?
I mean, Diggs, you know, he's big, he's physical, he's rangy. You know, and what a lot of people still don't realize is he has experience at receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a whole different dynamic to his cover skills because he knows what a receiver does. He recognizes the movements. He can read, and he turns his head around. He plays the ball at its highest point. You know, he was a steal because a lot of people had him in the first round to the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? So, well, I wouldn't say a lot. You know, some had him, you know, going to us in the first round, but
if they traded back, I had him as our first round pick.
I would have
been happy with him.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, Diggs has always been like, once we got him, I said they drafted him that high for him to be one of the starters.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's not surprising that, you know, he got picked on because you got to look at the guys we got. You got a route technician in Amari Cooper. You got another technician.
Yeah.
And CeeDee Lamb. And then Michael Gallup is the most underrated number 2 receiver in the league when he's really a 1 on most teams.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is a guy that got 1,100 yards in 14 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he missed 2 games. So this is a guy that probably would have been around 1,300 last year.
Yeah.
Me and Marcus just talked about having this is off topic real quick, but right on our previous guest, we were seeing who we thought would have the most receiving yards this year. Right. And me and Marcus actually both believe Gallup might end up with the most receiving yards. So that's how highly I think of him, at least going into the season.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Cooper or Gallup, neither one of them would surprise me to be the top.
No.
Yeah. No, I don't see Lamb being the top yet, but hey, I think all those boys are going to be around 4 digits.
Oh, most definitely.
Oh yeah.
Because like people talk, that's been like a headline about, can the Cowboys have 3,000-yard receivers? But people got to realize, like, that's only like 62.5 yards a game.
Exactly. People forget that.
It's like people hear 1,000 yards because that's such a big number, but you got to remember it's over 16 games.
And you got to remember
62.5 yards. That's not a lot of yards. And when you look at their average yards per catch, that's 3 or 4 catches for them.
4 catches.
You know what I'm saying? That's like 4 catches.
Last
that's like
year,
4. That's like 4 or 5 catches. So it's so you mean to tell me Dak can't complete 15 passes? Come on now, stop it.
And also, you had last year you had Cooper get 1,100 and something. You had
Gallup 1,100
something, and then
your third receiver had over 800.
Over 800, and it would have been 1,000 if a few penalties didn't get called back, and he didn't
drops.
The league in drops just about, or was up there. He was up there.
So they almost became the 16 to have 3 1,000-yard receivers in one season.
And I'm willing to say that I know he ain't played a snap yet, but I believe Lamb is going to be a superior talent than last year's Cobb. So,
and the great thing about Lamb is not only is he gifted in the slot, he can also play outside. And I actually wrote an article that I think they need to start putting Gallup in the slot.
Really?
Because if you got Lamb and Cooper with the ability to play outside, why not put him in the slot? Put them everywhere. Move them around. You got 3 potential number 1s that can line up anywhere. And as you can see, look at the camaraderie they have. They're all in pictures together. They're always around each other. Like they're already building that chemistry. You know, CeeDee Lamb on the NFL Network interview with Michael Irvin was talking about how he was learning from Cooper. So, you know, you see Cooper and Gallup doing the little catch drill with the one hand fighting over the ball.
I loved it. Yeah.
Oh man, like I cannot wait to see that offense.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
I can't wait to see Lamb run after the catch.
Yes. Yes, sir.
The only reason I would be afraid of Gallup in the slot, for one, I haven't seen his route tree yet, and that concerns me. And two, his hands can be a little iffy. So I hate to see. We used to have a problem of the slot guy missing the ball, tipping behind him, and then the guy covering catches it. That happened quite a bit, and I would hate to see that happen with him in the slot.
Well, I mean, I definitely understand that concern, but you know, and I'm not, you know, poo-pooing your point because that's actually a good point. But when to me, it's just something about having Amari Cooper around, a guy that's a route technician, and then you add CeeDee Lamb, and he's already a technician. I mean, those two guys being around him, already, you know, they're all going to feed off each other.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, Dak, I mean, he had those guys over at his house, you know, the little football field he had built in the backyard. They were already working out. So these guys are already built chemistry. Like they really took advantage of the, you know, the unfortunate event of, you know, COVID, you know, killing all the, you know, the normal protocol for, you know, an off season. But, you know, they did a good job staying together. Like, I cannot wait to see them.
All right. Let me take it back to the defense real quick, and we'll switch back over to the offense. You talked about Brown and you talked about Diggs, and you agree he's going to be probably day one starter. Who do you think is going to be that third corner that's out there day one? Because we got a lot of good corners.
I don't want people to give up on Awuzie yet.
Thank you.
Because if you really watch film on Awuzie, his position most of the time is actually pretty good.
Always. He's always in the right spot.
Yeah, he just has a very hard job of getting his head around. That's the thing that drives you crazy about him, because if he actually got his head around, he could be a 3 to 5 interception guy. Because he is right there. It's just that's the last part of his game. Once he gets that down, I really wouldn't throw him away yet. I mean, you could very well see Diggs and Awuzie as the 2 day one starters with either Brown or Lewis in the slot. I'm thinking it's going to be Lewis, but like I said, Anthony Brown is a solid corner, and he's not somebody that you can go out there and half step and think that you're going to win a job over him.
For sure. Because
he's going to be highly motivated after signing a 3-year, $15.5 million contract. Like, you know, he wants to earn his money. You know, he's making $5 million now.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Terrence. We agree. Jordan Lewis in the slot.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk a little bit of D-line. We got a question from Ortiz. It's kind of long, but I'll kind of give the short version of it. We just lost Gerald McCoy. How much do you think they'll impact our run defense and secondary? And as well as the addition of Griffin, how do you think that will affect us?
I mean, losing McCoy was tough. That was amazing. I mean, when I got that update, I almost fell to the floor. Like who? Like Jim? Like, oh man, like come on, like really? But the thing that's different about this year as opposed to the Garrett era, they're more equipped to deal with this loss.
For sure.
Because they have they have Gallimore, and they have Tyron Crawford, and they have guys that can fill in there and play that 3 technique. So it's a loss, but with the bodies that the Cowboys have, they're more equipped to deal with it. I really think we're going to be good against the run because Poe is a monster. He's about 350. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And DeMarcus Lawrence is always good against the run. So if you got Griffin or Alden Smith who both complete a run, that's the key. People understand that's why like teams that are good in the trenches sometimes still go a long way, even if they're not as good at skill positions. Because if you can win at the line of scrimmage, you can always win games.
Exactly.
Because you control the pace. So once we get the rundown, that's going to free up the linebackers to shoot those gaps, and that's going to give the quarterback less time to throw. Because the more you let receivers run open, I don't care who you're playing in the league, guys are going to get open. So if you get pressure up front and you let those linebackers run and your corners don't have to cover as much, that helps your second. That way, if you have guys that maybe lack a skill here as far as like covering downfield or falling for double moves, that won't hurt you that much because the quarterback won't have that much time to throw because they're getting pressure so much. We got a lot of bodies up front. Like we can rotate a lot of guys, and don't sleep on Antoine Woods either.
Yeah.
That's another guy that's going to be highly motivated. Because he, bringing in Poe and and Gallimore, he can play the 1 tech and the 3 tech.
Yeah.
So we're more equipped to deal with with a loss like McCoy as opposed to in the Garrett era because we spent so many resources on the defensive line. Like we loaded up with Poe and McCoy back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Woods wants a deal too. He wants to get himself a deal.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's crazy. 2 things people don't realize. Number one, it's probably been 10 years since we had a defensive tackle over 310 pounds.
Right.
So you get Big Poe in there at 350, you gonna see a difference in run defense just from size alone.
350, nasty. He's strong. He's actually very, very quick with his hands for a guy 350 pounds.
Exactly.
Like and if you got that mountain of a man drawing double teams, that's just going to make DeMarcus Lawrence and whoever else on that right side have so many one-on-one opportunities. And if you keep letting D-Law get one-on-one, DeMarcus Lawrence is going to get sacks.
Exactly.
You can't. It's very rare you're going to see him get blocked for 60 minutes. He's just too good.
Another thing I want to point out. We've never had 2 good 1 techs. Like right now, we have 2 guys who can literally split the reps 50-50. So you think about last year when Woods had to come out there on 1 leg because we didn't have a guy to back him up. Right. Now you will have 2 big monsters alternating time and both just killing it inside.
You had 3 big bodies that you can put at the 1 tech. You got Woods, you got Poe, and then like you said, Gallimore can slide over and play the 1 tech if need be. So we're like we got a lot of good guys at the 1 tech.
Yeah, I'll be right back, Mark.
Okay.
I definitely agree with that.
We'll hold it down for you, Lambo. So while we talking about the D-line and we talk about the 1 tech, somebody just put a comment up. Bobby McLean, appreciate you joining us. Talking about the 3 tech spot, and Bobby McLean thinks we should put Gallimore in over Crawford and bring Crawford back slowly. Now, for me, I'm concerned about Crawford for one. Like Bobby McLean said, he just came off double hip surgery. And for 2, if we believe the reports, he's about 270-some pounds. And it's hard to put on weight during the season.
Right.
So I don't know if we even want him to be the guy that we run out there when you got Gallimore that's 290. Right. They can take a little bit more punishment, starting off younger guy, quicker guy, probably stronger and faster as well. Who do you think should be our 3 technique?
I mean, I would have to say Crawford.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, they had a plan for him to probably play more of the, right defensive end spot. When you had McCoy there.
Right.
But now that McCoy is gone, he's a guy that got you, between 4 and 5.5 sacks at that spot for about 4 straight years.
Yeah.
So I would think that it's going to be Poe and Crawford starting inside, and then Lawrence, and I mean I'm probably going to say Griffin, but don't be surprised. I would probably say Griffin. And then Alden will definitely get some snaps.
All right, Lambo.
Yeah.
I think you missed the question. We were asking, who do you think should be the 3 tech, Gallimore or Crawford?
Crawford.
I would say it'd probably be Crawford to start the year. I think it's something Gallimore could prove himself as the year goes on, and if he puts in that work and you make plays, man, things will change. But I think to start the year, if I had to say it right now, it would probably start with it would be Crawford.
Yeah. And Terrence Shorts, I agree with you. I'm glad Marinell is gone. We had way too many small defensive tackles.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, when you see a guy at 350 and you demand double teams, it opens up everything else on the defense line, and we've never seen that before.
I'm glad we got a defense that wants to disguise itself.
Yes.
Exactly. For sure. And,
Thank you, Sylvia.
So now let's talk about our new addition, Everson Griffin. Man, I'm excited to see him come in.
Mm-hmm.
He's an intense guy. He's like you said before, former Pro Bowler, veteran, high production. What do you think we can expect to see from him as an addition?
I can very well see him getting probably between, probably around 8 sacks.
Okay.
Coming off that, that other side. I mean, he's got 74.5 for his career. He just came off an 8 sack season last year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think he made his 4th Pro Bowl last year.
Mm.
And Griffin, he's not going to beat you with a lot of speed or being around the edge, but he's so powerful, and he's such a technician with his hands is what people don't talk about enough.
Exactly.
And he has this move where he sets up tackles, outside and spins inside.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
And if you watch the Minnesota game last year, he gave Tyron Smith fits.
He did.
So I can't wait to see those guys go at it in practice.
Yeah, for sure.
Hard hitter Louis Boy on the stream.
Louis Boy, what's up, my boy?
We appreciate all the hard hitters joining us tonight, man. If you guys got questions, make sure you throw them out. We still got Matt here with us. We'll probably go for another 20 minutes or so.
Yeah,
we hadn't even got the offense yet. We still talking defense.
I shared in the hard hitter group and the DFW hard hitter group.
So before we move on to offense, we got to talk about one more thing. So that was taught that Griffin was going to wear 96 and shows up to practice today wearing that 9-7, and then they showed a shot of their locker room. How do you think Tristan Hill felt when that happened?
Well, I mean, I can't really say because I'm not him, but it's just, I'm pretty sure when he saw, a veteran cat come in, I'm pretty sure, there was a level of, respect. This is a guy that, is a high, a pretty high production guy. He's not just any guy. You're talking about a Pro Bowler,
right?
Yeah. And a guy that's coming off a Pro Bowl. So, of course, you have to, respect your elders and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't anything, over the line. Anything. Just that, hey,
I would think from his,
you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, it's probably one of the situations. It's a veteran. You're not going to say nothing about it,
right? But it's just like it's just certain guys. If they come, you just do it. It's not a.
Marcus does have a theory.
Oh, so we actually got some footage of the locker room. we got some
footage of the locker room.
We got some connections behind the scenes. We got some footage of Everson Griffin's first day at practice and just talking about that 97. So we're gonna play this short 1-minute video and then we'll come back with some more Cowboys talk. This is Everson Griffin on his first day with the Cowboys.
What's up, y'all? What's up, Red? Thanks for the bike. What you got on my 40, homie?
I thought you had $200.
I do. But I won't spend Red's money. I'm broke. Give it up, Red.
Come on, Debo, stall him out.
Where you got my 40, homie? I don't have nothing. Yeah, you got something. Why you tripping, Debo? Shut up, fuck, I knock your ass out.
Oh, man, that's messed up. Won't you give him back his chain?
What chain? Hey, man, why y'all didn't help me?
Yo, wow.
So,
oh my goodness.
Oh man. So Everson Griffin had to Debo his number, as you can say. But but seriously though, like you said, Griffin's an OG, and you just got to respect the man to let him come in and get his number. You know he's going to come in to be a star to produce. And just knowing how Jerry Jones is, you know he probably said a few words or threw a couple of dollars to make it happen.
I wouldn't put anything past Jerry Jones.
Sure, for sure.
You know.
All right. Before we move on to offense, we had one more defensive question. I think I lost it. It came from where'd it go?
Logan Ryan question.
Oh yeah, that's it. Chris Hessel back again. We talk about the money. We saved roughly $3.5 million with the cut of Gerald McCoy. What do you think about bringing in Logan Ryan to play that safety spot or as another corner safety hybrid?
I mean, I wouldn't be against it necessarily, but I'm just so liking what we have already. You know, like, you know, I don't know how other people feel, you know, about the secondary, but I really feel like, you know, with Wilson and, you know, guys like, you know, Awuzie and guys like, you know, Lewis that are really have something to prove this year. You know, you got guys in contract years, so it's going to be a lot of competition in the secondary, and I really like what we have right now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think we're good right now.
Pretty much let them give us a reason to need to look for a replacement. Or for like if they're looking that bad, then okay, pursue it. But
but if we got guys that keep making plays the way they are right now, like we're really good.
Yeah. You're right, Terrence. We got a lot of guys with versatility. That are free safety guys. Before we move to offense, I forgot I was gonna skip over this. Undrafted rookie free agent Francis Bernard has been putting on a show in practice.
I'm glad you brought his name up.
Hey, March. Hey, Justin March.
Justin March too.
He's knocking on the door.
Yeah, you don't notice Justin March. Francis Bernard is actually leading the practice with 2 interceptions.
I'm saying March be the guy he's coming for.
And he's looking really good. I mean, you seemed like you were excited when I brought his name up. So what do you think about him as a player?
Yeah, I mean he's he's I think he's like 6'1", 230. So he's not too big, but he's very instinctive. He he's a good tackler. He pursues real well. Like he can do it all. And like I said, he makes plays. He's getting interceptions, and that's perfect for Mike Nolan's system. Guys that are making plays, getting deflections, and getting turnovers, those are the guys that are going to be on Mike. That are going to be on the roster for Mike Nolan. And I really see him, really just coming out of nowhere and making this team. Like, I know he's an undrafted free agent, but
I think so too.
That's all I was hearing all day was his name. All day today. Yeah. All day. Francis Bernard.
Another pick six guy.
Yeah.
He had a pick six.
Yeah. And one thing I always tell people, he was the best covered corner in college last year.
Yes, he was.
Right.
If it wasn't for his slowish 40 time and his short arms, he would have probably at least been a 4th round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And he just failed us as an undrafted guy. So I'm excited about seeing him. Now, one thing I like to tell people, it's a numbers game. You can't keep everybody. And we have a lot of talented linebackers. So we talked about a guy like March Lillard, and we also have a Gifford. Do you think he takes one of those guys' spots, or we go long at linebacker and go short somewhere else to keep him, if we keep him?
I mean, I would kind of want to see us go long. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, yeah, I mean, I just really think that we should have bodies at the second level too. You got Sean Lee that's getting a little longer in the tooth. You got a guy like Evangelist is coming off an injury.
Right.
I really think that we should keep some numbers at linebacker. And when we got so many guys that are playing well right now, all of them are looking good. So I would say long, as opposed to short.
I wouldn't be against that if just because the injury concerns at linebacker. I would like to have as many playmakers at the position as possible. We just have to figure out where that would make us go short at. That would be the tough. That would be the tough conversation to have.
That's the question mark.
That's always my question. If we go long somewhere else, we gotta We got to trim it down at another spot.
I could see safety being rolling short because of the flexibility some of them corners got that could possibly also play safety. I don't know.
So now we've talked a lot of defense. Let's actually go to offense and talk about a position that Lambo and I both think we may go short at, and that's at wide receiver. In practice today, we heard for the past 2 or 3 days, Cedric Wilson has been putting on a clinic.
Right.
Doing punt returns. He's making big plays. He's playing inside, outside. Now, Lambo and I are both huge Cedric Wilson fans. How do you feel about it?
I am too.
Okay.
I am too. Because I mean, if you watch his college tape, at Boise State. To me, he reminds me of Gallup because he attacks the ball. Like he attacks the ball in the air, and I love receivers that attack the ball. That's what I love about Michael Gallup so much. So yeah, Cedric Wilson, huge fan. Absolutely. I definitely want to see him make the roster for sure.
Now, I haven't heard much about Devin Smith, but they say Jon'Vea Johnson's having a pretty good camp right now.
Yeah, I see that.
Speed guy.
Just get them hands together.
So Lambo and I both think we're going 5 wide receivers because the top 3 are just so good. Right. What do you think? What do you think about? You think we go 5? Or you think it's going to be 6 or 7?
I mean, I think you could. I mean, the thing is, like, if you go, like you said, if you're going to go long at receiver, then you might go short at linebacker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you keep 6, then one of those guys over there at linebacker might not make it. You know what I'm saying? So it really just depends on what happens in camp. You know, like those decisions that are going to get solved on the field by how guys play.
Yeah.
So,
the way it's looking right now, if I had to choose between Francis Bernard and a 6 linebacker, I'm going Bernard all day.
Bernard, yeah, man. He makes plays.
Now, for me, I thought that 5th spot was going to be taken by a guy like a Noah Brown just because of their strong special teams presence. Right. But last year, Ventel Bryant filled in their special teams role. And he's been making some plays.
He's making some plays, too. Yeah, I mean, I know y'all saw that catch he made on Worley.
Worley, yeah, that was nice.
That was a thing of beauty.
I was sleeping on Ventrell Bryant, too. Like, I mean, me and Marcus was talking about receivers, I think it was, a month ago or something, and I completely he wasn't even on my radar, and, like, I've completely switched my stance on that.
Yeah. Because to me, I think if they go 6, I think Wilson and Bryant are definitely going to be 2 of the other 3.
Yeah.
That's just my feeling right now.
Oh, I'm with you now, looking at how he's been performing. And he's a 6'3", 200-pound guy, 4.4 speed guy. If you go look back at the history of Green Bay, that's the exact type of guy McCarthy loved in Green Bay.
Yes.
So because of the measurables, he has and the special teams presence.
Yes.
He has a good shot of getting that spot. For sure.
Yes, indeed.
Wanted a Bryant, we'll get a Bryant. Just a different one.
Yeah, it's been a lot of praise about our offense, and I know you heard Mike McCarthy a couple days ago came out and said people look at Gallup as a number 2, but in my eyes, he's the number 1.
That made me feel good about drafting him in fantasy as my wide receiver too. I was like, okay, yeah, talk him up.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who in 14 games got 1,100,
right?
Playing with a perennial Pro Bowl receiver. In Amari Cooper. Anytime you can get a guy, a top 10 receiver like Amari Cooper, and you can get your number 2 to get 1,000 yards. And remember, he did it in 2 less games than
less games, right?
So, he missed 2 games. I mean, he completely doubled his production from his rookie year. He tripled it in touchdowns because he went from 2 to 6.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Gallup on most other teams, that's your number 1 guy,
right?
For sure. For sure.
Somebody had another question up here. So, what, like you said before, even though we kind of disagreed about putting Gallup in the slot, that's still a deadly lineup because when you see those 3 guys go in the huddle, you don't know who's lining up where.
Exactly.
So if you play in a team like the Eagles who put their guys in one spot, and you think Darius Slay is going to always be on Cooper, that's not going to be the case. Sometimes it's gonna be Lamb stepping out there in front of him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
Slay don't want to step in that slot with Cooper for sure.
Oh no. No. He would slant route him to death.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Chris, talking about receiver, going to transition to tight end. So we've had this discussion quite a bit about Blake Jarwin and his year.
Yes, sir.
With all the talk we've been talking about the receivers, how many receiving yards roughly do you think there's going to be left for Jarwin to get?
I mean, I can see Jarwin getting, probably. Oh, hold on, y'all. Okay, I can see Jarwin getting around that 750, 800 range.
Yeah, that's my mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, when you look at what they did last year, 2 guys went over 1,100. Your third guy got 8, and they got about 1,000 yards from the tight end spot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So did. I mean, yeah, he could easily come in there and get you between 700, 800. 5 to 7 touchdowns. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I see him. Probably around 50 or so catches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
50 or 60.
If you look at last year between Jarwin and Witten, they had about 850 yards together, and you lose all of Witten's production now, so it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I have real concerns about the number 2 and number 3 tight end spot. What do you think about our tight end group as a whole?
I mean, who do you like? Who's your biggest concern?
I don't think Blake Bell is a receiving tight end. And if something happened to Jarwin, Blake Bell is listed as our number 2, and I feel like he can't get the job done.
So who would you rather be the 2?
I don't like anybody we have right now. That's my problem.
I'm good with Blake Bell as the 2. I think he's a great blocker, but we didn't see much for him because he was behind Kelsey. But if Jarwin went down, I would think that we would go after someone. Honestly, they would try to make a trade happen. They would try to kick the tires on someone out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, I can understand your, concern at the tight end spot after Jarwin because there does seem to be like a little drop off, but just gonna have to wait and see, man.
I mean, I can understand Kelsey is a great player and he gets a lot of catches. But for him to have less than 100 yards for 3 years in a row, that's concerning to me. I don't care who the star is. As a number 2 tight end on a pass-happy team, I would expect you to at least hit 100 yards for the season. That just bothers me. That's concerning.
Right. Yeah, that's a huge drop-off, especially when you got a guy like Jarwin that's probably going to get you around 600, 700, 800.
Right, exactly. And like I said, if Jarwin does that, I'm good. But if something happened to Jarwin, I'm just terrified.
I really think they'll go after someone if something happens to Jarwin. I'm like.
So while we talk about that, Terrence came back with a comment, and he asked about O.J. Howard. What do you think about us trading for a guy like a O.J. Howard or David Njoku as possibly a number 2 complimentary receiver? Think it's too rich for our blood, or?
I'm thinking about the salary cap wise. I don't really see them making that kind of move.
Well, they're both still under their rookie deal, so it probably wouldn't cost more than $4 million.
Yeah, but
they just paid Jarwin that long contract.
Yeah, I just think they're really done making moves now. I mean, we're about what we're like 3 weeks away from the season. Like that's what people don't realize. Like the season is right around the corner. Like it's gonna be before you know it. It's gonna be before you know it. It's like 23 days away or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So a little over 3.5 weeks. So I
Is it Cole Hikatini? Is that how you say it?
That's it, Hikatini.
I thought I read something about him making a little bit of ruckus, making some catches. He's the receiving tight end that we got that was undrafted dude.
Right.
So I don't know. Who knows? Somebody like him could step up out of nowhere, and I would rather see someone like him or McKeon take the third spot over Schultz too. Honestly.
And those are Charles Clay is still available, but I think people have serious injury concerns about him. So he's probably going to be a guy that's just going to sit at home, try to stay in shape, and if there's an injury around the league, somebody will give him a call.
That could be it. Hopefully not.
I hope it's not us, but yeah. All right. So we kept you a little long, Matthew, and we appreciate it. But we gotta talk running, at least talk running back before we go. Running back and a little bit of offensive line. So there's not much you can say about Zeke or Pollard. They're both amazing. But we've heard rumors that they've been playing both of them on the field together. How do you think that works in terms of formation? And what do you, in the second part, what do you think that does to the offense as a whole?
I mean, I've been calling for them to play them both at the same time for so long now. Because you got two guys that Zeke proved 2 years ago that he can catch the ball. He has 77 catches.
Right.
And Pollard caught, I think, like 94 passes in college.
In college,
yeah. So if you have them both on the field at the same time, with that two running back formation, like that's gonna make those linebackers spread out and can cover in the flat, and that's gonna let whoever's playing the slot position and a guy like Jarwin, going down the seams, just eat up a defense. So I just really think that with how versatile Pollard is, if you keep him on the field with Zeke, like that's going to make our offense so much more lethal. And Pollard only got 86 touches last year.
Right.
Like he doesn't even have a lot of wear and tear on his legs, but whenever he got the ball, he was explosive. This kid had 2 100-yard games last year.
Yeah, right. 5.5 yards at carry. Woo.
2. I mean, and he did it, the same games that Zeke did. And one game, he was the leading rusher.
Was right.
So yeah, Pollard is a weapon. You have to have him on the field. Have to have him on.
Let me ask you this question then, because in order to run, I don't know if you call it 21 or 20 personnel, who comes off the field, Jarwin or Lamb? Because you can't have both of them on the field with both running backs.
I don't want CD off the field.
I don't either.
I want him on the field every snap. So if I got to sacrifice one of those, it would have to be Jarwin. Yeah, got to keep Lamb on the field.
And for you guys that don't know, when you talk about formations, you start with running back first. So when I say 20, that means 2 running backs, and then the second number means how many tight ends on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say 20, that means 2 running backs, 0 tight ends. 21 means 2 running backs, 1 tight end.
Right.
But if you do that, that means you're short a receiver. So that's what I meant. I just wanted to make sure I cleared that up so people who don't know wouldn't get confused.
Bringing that knowledge.
So since we said that, the second part of that question, how do you think they have both of them on the field? You think Pollard was a slot? You think they lined Zeke up at fullback? Was it?
See, to me, I think they need to explore putting Pollard in the slot because he did that at Memphis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, people don't realize that how productive he was in college. I mean, he was he tied the NCAA record for kick return touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy, like when he had the ball in his hands, he's just dynamic. He just makes plays. So, catching 94 passes, that's pretty big for a running back.
He actually started as a receiver, but
he started as a receiver, right?
He was so good at kick return and just yards after catch. They were like, we got to put him in the backfield and get him some more touches.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Explosive guy. Love it. All right. Before we go, I know we kept you a little bit longer, and we appreciate your time.
Oh, no. You good, man.
We got to talk offensive line. Lyle Collins has missed all the practices, and today he had an accident, so we don't know what effect that had. And then today, Tyron Smith walked off the field with a tight hamstring.
Scared me to death.
And it sounds like they said literally the defensive ends are meeting in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Like they said at one point, Alden Smith tripped over Law to get the sack.
Right. Uh-huh.
How concerned are you about that?
Well, I mean,
out too, any.
I'm not overly concerned right now because it's they're like just getting the pass back on, but I definitely don't want to be hearing this 2 weeks from now when we're a week away from the opener. Mm-hmm. So it definitely doesn't need to continue to be like that. But I mean, with the bodies we have on defense, like you got to expect there are going to be some days when those guys are going to make plays against that line. Like we got former Pro Bowlers and all pros, on that line. So it's just tit for that. Tit for tat. Sometimes the offense is going to have their way, and sometimes the defense is going to have their way. That's just the way it goes.
Okay. Last question. Well, let's Lambo has something else. We have Connor McGovern, who's a talented guard.
Right.
And right now they got Connor Williams starting in front of him. And I've actually seen some reports that they're playing Connor Williams at center a little bit.
Right.
Why don't you think they let him get some tackle reps when we're going through this right now?
I know, right?
I would.
You just think he's not a tackle and his college tape was wrong, or?
I mean, to me, I really think that he can play tackle too. I mean, because he showed that on the college. Like he's versatile. Like you can plug him in two or three spots. Like he's actually a lot more versatile than people think. So I don't really know why they haven't explored that yet. But I know at the center position, you got Looney, and of course you got Biadish from
Wisconsin.
From Wisconsin, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I think Looney's going to be started, but Biadish is going to challenge, and of course, they're going to throw Connor Williams in them there at center too. So
okay,
yeah.
You got anything else, Lambo? I know we're hitting 2 hours. I don't want to hold you too much longer.
No, I don't think I got anything off the top of my head right now, man.
Okay,
I think we already went over most of it.
Hey, well, let me say something about Ezekiel Elliott, because there's been a lot of talk about him in the offseason, how he's fallen off a cliff and all that. Like, look, this is what people understand. Ezekiel Elliott played with basically a 5,000-yard quarterback last year.
Mm-hmm.
2 receivers over 1,100, and a third that got 8 and almost 900 yards from your tight end spot.
Right.
And with all that, this guy finished 4th in rushing, 4th in touchdowns, 2nd in all-purpose yards, and he was tied for 1st in 100-yard games. and this is the thing that people don't get. Ezekiel Elliott had 7 100-yard games. He had 5 in the first 8 weeks when he wasn't even in shape.
Right.
That's what being a Cowboy gets you. 4th in rushing is all of a sudden, oh man, this dude's falling off.
When in the history of football has basically 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns been a bad year for a running back?
And Matthew, then he threw in 50 catches on top of that.
The same way Dak had a bad year with 4,930.
Exactly. So like this, the demise of Ezekiel Elliott is greatly exaggerated.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's still. I mean, you don't see guys get basically 1,800 all-purpose yards and 14 touchdowns with an aerial assault, like with a 5,000-yard quarterback.
And they ain't even paying attention to all the key blocks he had.
Yes, 5,000-yard quarterback, and you got 1,800 yards from your running back. That's insane.
Right. That's insane.
Yeah. 1,800 yards and 14 touchdowns, and he fell off a cliff. Well, I tell you what, give me 53 guys that fall off cliffs.
Exactly.
Give me 53 guys that can produce like that, and I guarantee we'll be holding up some Lombardies.
Man, Matthew, thank you for joining us tonight, man. You came in and spit some knowledge. Yeah. You were on top of every position that we hit you with. We purposely don't give our guests what questions we're going to ask because we like to keep the flow natural.
Oh, yeah.
And you just hit home runs. Like, you knocked everything out of the park.
Hey, man, like I say, I don't pretend to be, some kind of guru or nothing, but I just love watching football. I love talking about it. Obviously, I love writing about it. And, I'm still growing as a writer. I don't feel I'm anywhere near as good as I need to be yet. And that's what keeps me motivated. But whenever somebody asks me to talk football, I want to give as much knowledge as I can, give some real insight, not that little wishy-washy stuff you see on some of these national TV shows.
Exactly.
But,
that's what we're here for too.
Yeah, but just try to give some some knowledge and listen to other people's perspectives, because I like learning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm listening to you and listening to him. I'm starting to think about things I wasn't thinking about before. So that's what it is. Iron sharp as iron. So
exactly.
I'm just grateful for this position, man. Like, I'm glad that you guys invited me on here. I've been meaning to come on here for a while. I've been meaning to reach out and try to come on here because I like the format. I like how y'all guys do things. So anytime you guys want to talk, man, just let me know, and you can always set something up, like during the season, off season, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Man.
You part of the Cowboys' own family now. We'll definitely be calling you up again.
Oh, for sure, man. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, I
All right.
appreciate it, man.
So before we let you go, let everybody know where they can see your articles and where they can follow you at on social media.
You can see my articles at InsideTheStar.com, NGSESports.com, as well as CowboysWire.com. I write for all three sites. And on Twitter, that's at Star Conscience. And if you don't know how to spell conscience, take the word con and the word science and put it together. That's how you spell conscience, at Star Conscience. That's where you can find all my work.
All right, Lambo, are we got anything else, or we want to close it out now? We're over 2 hours.
Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and close it out.
Yeah, phone lines are down, so really can't get any more fan conversation.
Let's get that music going.
All right, so Lambo, before we go, let's get you to give the people your social media.
Everything is pretty much at Cowboys Y'all. You guys know Facebook at Cowboys Y'all, Twitter at Cowboys Y'all, YouTube, Patreon, and Instagram is Cowboys Y'all 88.
All right. Everything from me is Bluff City Cowboys, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, Bluff City Cowboys. And again, thank you to our guests, Ballz Mahoney and Matthew Lenix.
Appreciate y'all,
Thank
man.
you to all of the fans who came and joined us tonight to watch this episode. We appreciate you guys' support. We couldn't do this without you guys. And thank you to Lambo.
It's for the people.
Co-host. I always love talking Cowboys with you, man.
You too, brother.
All right. So that's another
Appreciate
episode
y'all,
of the Cowboy Zone in the books. Be sure to join us next Thursday where we'll talk more Cowboys training camp, and we may have a special guest joining us then as well. You guys enjoy your weekend.
See y'all later, man.
We out.